Okay, well, what we're doing here is attempting to demonstrate what has been happening this afternoon. Here's the captain's log star date. It is the 9th of January, 2017. Brand new year. Let's hope the New Year's resolutions from the Time Warner ivory tower on down include customer service that is far beyond, we would want to say, light years beyond the Call of Duty. No, let's not say that at all. The Call of Duty is to offer service, and where things are not working correctly, to have them work correctly. What a concept, huh? Yeah, I'm the Velvet Doberman, and I suppose it might be valuable at this point to identify myself. So I'll do this very quickly. The Vel should do it. No, I don't want that. I want... There we go. Hello? Okay, you see right now, that should pop up immediately because these files are residing on my own server, and it's a very fast server. So right off the top, you're getting yet another rancid episode in intermittent, stumbly, would be a good word to use, internet throughput. Well, I won't use the word throughput. It seems like I can upload things all right. At a very express level, 5 megabits per second. I think that's the cap on it. We have supposedly 60 megabits down, which of course we're not experiencing now in any way, shape, or form, and only 5 up, where some of Time Warner's competitors are offering 100 megabits down and 100 megabits up. Even Steven. How's them apples, well, golly, I really didn't expect this. I wanted to demonstrate something else. So let's try it again in another window, because of course, as you technology mavens out there realize, or as Gene Hackman would say, this is not good. This is not good on steroids. This is not good at the galactic level. This is definitely going to turn out to be a RAR, which stands for Riffin' and Rantin'. So how long did that take? Did you have your stopwatches going? I ask you. Alright, we'll make quick work of this. I hope so. We certainly enjoy it, and so do a lot of other people. I would like you to read this. We will canonize integrity. What is canonize? Well, spread it across the bright blue sky at the Santa Monica Beach during summer, with 175,000 people there at Pirates Cove, seeing it canonized again across the sky with a Skyrider. How about that? Integrity. Skyrider. Picture a Skyrider. Alright, well, enough of that. Simultaneously, we will vilify, meaning degradize, mediocrity, ineptitude, unappreciation. Well, there's a good one there, huh? Self-serving, greed. Well, that might be a little out of place. There's no greediness here. Not. An attitude which we often run into, although I will give Time Warner props in the hiring department when it comes to Tier 3 people. I mentioned this in one of the previous videos, which seem to be stockpiling rapidly. This will probably be number 8. I have number 7 to upload today, which was something that was caught on tape with the pants down. Not my pants, Time Warner's pants. Between the hours of about 1 o'clock and 4 a.m. on my rusty, trusty Samsung Galaxy 4 smartphone. Works quite well, actually. I mean, at least it gets the job done. And yes, you'll hear me ranting and ranting and riffing and riffing. And partly that is to prove to any possible investors in my... This keeps popping up. those of you who may have been following these videos will attest to, in case I wind up on the radio instead of on this show here, although this is looking very solid now. We're doing the deep dive cha-cha-cha as far as sponsorship goes. Whole point for my, get out of there, for me bringing this up is, yes, I do amuse myself. And that's kind of what I'm going for here. Anyone who might be interested in investing in yours truly on the radio. So the question arises, can the Velvet Doberman riff and rant? Can he just talk endlessly about anything at many levels of depth, including philosophy, and the fact that what we're really dealing with here is not a problem at the level of economics. We're dealing with something at the level of what I like to call human foibility factors, or HF2s, or is it H2Fs? You know, take your pick. Just don't pick your nose. They say you can pick your friends. Never mind. Human foibility factors. We're talking about the collective unconsciousness, Carl Jung called it. I like to refer to it as the collective consciousness, because we're uploading this stuff at some, let's make the language of it plasma level, something you can't see. You can't touch it, you can't smell it, you can't see it, but it's there. It's back at every heartbeat and in between. But not at the level of love. There's a song which I actually wrote. In between heartbeats are moments for love, and there in the powerful silence witness the lion sleep with the dove. Unity and diversity. Spirit is one, paths are many. So this is under the heading, again, the banner, in case you wonder, where in the deuce is this guy going? Is going toward the end game of explaining that if the lights are not lighting up on the switchboard at KFI, more stimulating, or is it simulated, talk radio in Los Angeles, that's okay, because wind me up, people, and I'll talk for hours, as you can tell. All right, let's... I wasn't watching my screen, and there it is again. All right, well, we already saw the problem in downloading or launching the Velvet Doberman page. So let's go back to the main reason for doing this, and that was to demonstrate what happens when I play a YouTube video at 60 gigabits per second. Do you think? And I do have gigabit internet piping up here. I won't go into all of the logistical connections and the gazintas and gazautas, but it's basically a drop into the lab up here, which is where I am, as contrasted with downstairs in a little alcove off of the living room where most of the videos were shot. If you want to go back and refer to those too. These are the videos in which we're billboarding some really blistering speeds that are coming in here. I'll give you an example. We're looking at 67 gigabits per second. Not bad. Even sometimes, I don't know what to do about this. Here's a thought. Just leave it up there and continue your rent. 67, 72, actually 70 and some change, as I said in last night's video. That's really good. But the problem is multifold. Sometimes we'll get that kind of throughput, or downput, if you will, and it takes 5 minutes to get there. The progress bar on test.my or speed of .me, or particularly DSL reports, broadband reports, same thing, as Leo Laporte has celebrated. For those of you who know who Leo Laporte is, are aware of the fact that he doesn't usually pimp anything unless it's reasonably good, and he gave them a large helping of props just recently. They even publicized that on the... This is annoying, not so much because of this, guys. That's a whole other YouTube playlist, and I haven't even begun to go there yet, but it has to do with Windows peculiarities and the fact that I've been moved to propose a whole new operating system. Did I say an whole new operating system? That would be and if whole started with H, which actually is very appropriate because there are a lot of holes in Windows. As a matter of fact, my new operating system, which I've started the process of trademarking, is called Doorways. And the PR and marketing blurb will be, try Doorways. You have to crawl through Windows, or you could alternate that on primetime TV with Windows break. Now let's take the other one. That's easier to segue from. You have to crawl through Windows, but you can easily walk through doorways. I'm hoping for some laughter out there. Come on, guys. Okay, I'm hearing a couple of single solitary apostrophe S. All right, here's a thought. Let's just put it over here on the other screen. Da 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 da, neener, neener, neener. All right. So going back to the whole reason for this particular rant, and as you can see, I'm trying to be entertaining, gang, because if you don't laugh, you cry, or you are on lithium or something and you have no feelings at all. We're back to John Anderson, and what stimulated all of this BS, which stands for Bear Scat, by the way, is the fact that I was just wanted to play this as a little interlude to save my sanity, because I happen to be a Yes and a John Anderson fan, being a musician and a composer, as well as a consumer advocate and an IT professional, and a hat maker. Yes, I wear a lot of hats. So let's try it and see how far we go. That means I have to put headphones on and make sure that good old bandicam is recording the audio. I haven't seen this. This is probably very sweet because Chris left the planet not that long ago, and he was quite an innovator. Those of you who follow these people, Chris Squire, did I say, right here. And what happened was I wound up with what I call a little spermy wormy, a revolving sperm, or you could call it a squirrely. What is it? Squirrely whirly, that'll work. I think that was what it was. Anyways, it's the new widely accepted standard in a technological world which eschews Gesundheit. Gesundheit. Eschews standards and conventions. No, because, golly, if I follow the convention that you and your company have established, I'm going to be giving you some of my business. We're talking about greed, right, which doesn't exist. Huh. So I guess when it pops on the screen, the ghost in the machine says, don't pop here, pop there. Well, I say, pop you. I want to go back to seeing if this is going to play, so please enjoy a little bit of this. We may not get this behavior, because that is probably the poster child example of what's wrong in this whole ridiculous, idiotic situation. Is there are no real patterns. Although in the middle of the night, last night, I discovered something that I had noticed before, but hadn't noticed that I had noticed, which is at about 2 a.m. is when things start going cockapoo-poo. Up until that point, you have a certain amount of reliability and dependability and contiguity. Is that a word? You see, folks, we do our internet banking here from the house. We don't do that from the office. We have online courses that we take, and I actually have in one of the videos, if you want to go back and scrounge around for it, go fish, on the screen, right after seeing a, excuse me, right after seeing a 67 megabits per second plus, a 39K download speed, which actually came in according to the little special message that DSL Reports plies you with. It says your download speed is 0%. See, we're dealing with mathematical virtualities here, right? So this is all done via algorithms. There's no one person that's saying, this would be funny to put downline 0%. LOL. No, it's all done by bits and bytes. Digital, siliconial real estate. How about them apples? So it's done automatically. And it says 0% of the Time Warner aggregated average or some such wording. 0%. And there it is on the screen. Read it and weep. I think it is video number 3, but I wouldn't swear to it. Go check it out. Meanwhile, enjoy a little bit of this, if you will. You'll hear a little background noise. I apologize for that. We have a rather noisy computer sitting next to me that goes by the name of Ava2. And that's it on that. Here's John, and let's see if we can get through at least a minute or two and see if it's going to allow us to enjoy this music and to enjoy a little bit of certainty. That's what we as consumers are missing, in case you missed the point. Alright, people, I seem to have shot myself in the foot, or stepped on my, I don't know, some body part, because the audio was not recorded. So John Anderson is singing in the dark to himself, and we can't hear him. It's just a wonderful piece of music. And at first I was kind of furious because I thought bandicam had messed up. Then I realized, no, it is the idiotic Windows 7 interface, which does not allow you to see the routing of the audio signal. In other words, what influences what influences what, where does this go. You can drag this little gizmo down here and connect to that goombot, and then the apogantis is over here, and here's the ambient Klein tube, and you can increase the calibration level by doing this and that, and it's all on one screen. I mean, how hard would that to be? I have a favorite phrase: it's only digital. Read my lips. It's only digital. 2 lines of code, probably. Well, I don't know, maybe 200 or 200,000, knowing the boys in Redmond. So we don't have that audio, and so I've condensed it down and taken out the space that was there. As I started to say at first, I was a little irritated because I'm extremely irritated, being a former audio engineer. Well, I'm not a former audio engineer. I'm still doing it. And I can see, well, I have another channel. You can check this out at some point. And the title of that channel is, It Doesn't Have to Be This Way. So you can kind of get the broad brush right there. You don't have to go beyond the pale. It doesn't have to be that way. Somebody set up that sound system. I realize this is a whole other rant, and I plan on doing one on just that particular subject. So we'll go down the rabbit hole on Windows and that in particular. But it doesn't have to be that way, you know? I mean, on one screen, this is the new mill. We put people on the moon. I mean, I don't have to be the MacGyver of the new mill, as I've been called at times. But I is, you know. 20 years ago, I couldn't even spell engineer. Now I are one. So you can see that how valuable that would be. I mean, in one swell swoop, signal comes in here, it goes there. Pardon? You don't want it there.
So you drag it up there to another graphic box, which is fully explained, by the way, or should be, is what I really meant to say. So that's that. So here's a mini rant inside of that rant. That's why you can't hear the music. And I will expand upon this at some other time and try to make it clear enough to where people can find it. So here we go. Oh, what I mentioned, and I almost forgot this part. Where are we here? Let me go to my other screen. And here's this. This is what I wrote when YouTube/Google, you say potato, I say potato, / pardon me, got a throg in the throat. I just derailed my train of thought again. Sorry about that, gang. My bad. So this here is something that was written up and has yet to be submitted to Google, because in the third video of this series, I think it's the third, might be the fourth, but in the background is some music that happens to be playing on the TV that was left abandoned in the living room, playing to itself, some kind of rap music, and not BMG, UBG, some large music consortium that has algorithmized, if that's a word, the ability to listen to that music without human intervention. No human beings involved. You know, it's kind of like at our restaurant, our food isn't touched by human hands. The chef is a gorilla. They're listening, but it's like the little mechanical insects, the virtual mechanical insects looking for Peter Stormare and Tom Cruise in Minority Report. So constantly you've got those things in your life, in your ears, in your underpants, under the bed, in the bathroom when you're trying to take a private shower, with their little cameras blinking. But you can't see the cameras, of course, because these little gimbots are about the size of a Eberhard Faber pencil eraser. So there you go. Here's a mini rant. I can put this up by itself now. Hey, how's them apples? But I want you to read this. I want to share this with you, which you may have already done, and you're probably ignoring me entirely because you've been busy reading this. But this will get their attention. Oh, what I didn't explain, you see I do go off on tangents, but I can always circulate back. So here we are, pass and go, have $200 on me. Of course, it's monopoly money. Can't spend it anywhere, but can't spend the money you make. We won't even go there. So we get their attention with that. And why are we doing that? Because of the fact that I've got these people that are saying, you're playing our music in the background of your video, which you can't even hear. And it sounds like, boy, that's, pardon me. Me. Oh, I mean, you. But that was a bit self-centered, wasn't it? I've been talking too much about me. So let's talk about you. How do you feel about me? So they didn't like the music in the background, or they want to be paid for it. So here YouTube alerts me to this fact and says, your on-camera rant, which again is number 2, number 3, or number 4, which is done for public service purposes, more or less, mostly more, they want to get paid. So you'll notice down here, if I can find it, I'll scroll down to this page 2 here, and you can pause the video. So this smacks of, at worst, dredging for dollars, and at least, oh, there's an extra space in there, let's fix that. Utter brainlessness, nothing personal, LOL, thank you Jimmy Fallon and Justin Timberlake. That's all. That's all. The only reason that this is stuck in the middle of all this, and I hope you found it enjoyable, because I had one whale of a good time putting it out there for you. Velvet Doberman, temporarily, edit, out. What a wonderful song. Incredible melody.
I don't think it's going to glitch. So I'll ask you to take my word for it. But what we wound up with is a either John's mug on the screen or a black screen. I think both, actually, in succession. And one of these. 30 seconds, 45 seconds, a minute or two. Select the URL, do tab, hit return, and now we have this. This is not 60 gigabits per second or even 55, which I would accept. This is what I was talking about. Alright, well, we can run with this. The song that I was just sharing with you, there we go. Folks, this is a fast machine. It's a Lenovo T410. Not exactly the most recent, but it has 16 gigabytes of RAM. Yeah, I'm going to be putting an SSD in it, but that has nothing to do with what I'm about to say. It's fast. And there's no problem watching YouTube videos, especially at this aspect ratio. This isn't even full screen, as you noticed. It's not acceptable. Read my flippin' lips. That should do it for now. I hope I'm still recording. Yep. Perfect timing. Get out of here. Anybody watch their debut of Celebrity Apprentice with the new host? Or as Gene Hackman says. Alright, as usual. 5, 4, on 0, 2, 3, not pictured. 2, 1,